Good morning. My name is Kerry Rigg. I'm here to introduce you to the Advanced Vapor Technologies MondoVap number 2400 steam disinfection system. I want to start by showing you the on and off switch, and it takes about 7 minutes once you turn the machine on to fill the boiler, get the heat, and please know that this is not a temperature gauge, this is a pressure gauge. When it gets up to about 1 o'clock, you'll see a green light come on, notating the fact that you are ready for work. I have several things I want to show you here. Different types of brushes. This is a brass brush. We have large and small. These are used for anything made of aluminum. Then we have stainless steel brushes, large and small. Obviously these are used on anything made of stainless steel. I like to segregate one small brush for cleaning around the drinking fountains. I'll show you that later. And then lastly we have the plastic brushes, obviously for things that are made of plastic, baseboards, things of this nature. In addition, we have the 2-inch brushes to hold stainless steel pads. Why is this important? We use this for a lot of things. This is used in the restaurant industry for taking grease off of fryers, ovens, what have you. And also you have many places with the stainless steel baseboards on doors that get a lot of material from poor maintenance. We'll get to that later. This is a neat little gadget. This is for taking gum off of any surface. It blows the steam out of both sides. It's also good for removing wallpaper. This is the window squeegee. We have 8-inch and 12-inch blades. I want to caution everybody when you're changing your blades, do it upside down so you don't break off these teeth. Next we have the nozzles. I usually segregate the gray nozzle for above the floor and the black nozzle for anything on the floor. This is called a turbo nozzle. You will notice the difference in the size of the holes. This is the only tool that you use on high, and I will demonstrate that in just a few moments. Two very important tools for disinfection are the triangle tool, and these are called filler pads, and then the 11-inch brush. So the proper way to install the towel on the tool is to put it up about 1/2 inch to 1 inch. And then you crisscross just like diapering a baby. Gives you a nice flat surface to work from. For the larger tool, put in your filler. You want to have about a 1-inch overlap. You have the 4 corners. Insert it under there, and that gives you a nice flat surface to work from. These are extensions that allow you to go overhead when you're working overhead or on the floor so you're not bending down like that. This is the drain boiler maintenance tool. Underneath the MondoVap is a trap door. Beneath here is a brass nut. Once a month, it's the only maintenance you need to do with this machine. You remove the brass nut, drain the boiler by leaning it forward, reinstall, and you're good to go. This is a funnel utilized right here for filling the machine. This bottle comes with the machine. Great. The machine holds about 3.7 liters. I want to show you something from several years ago. This is a chemical-free system. We had one at a major university's hospital operating room. They used a product from a major chemical company, and it actually lasted only a week because they arced the boiler by using a chemical through the machine. That is an absolute no-no. This is not warranted because we have electrical wires running through this. This is installed by pressing the large red button, releasing the hook on the bottom. You push this in until you hear it click, like So, the hose itself is 10 feet long. It is not covered under warranty because you have electricity coming up here to operate the buttons. When you first start with the MondoVap for the day, you're going to have some condensation left over from yesterday. So what you want to do is burp the machine and let the hose heat up for just about 5 seconds, and then you're ready to go. Now I'm going to demonstrate something here. It's 300 degrees coming out of the hole right here, but yet it expands so quickly it doesn't bother me here. One last thing. So the only time you use both buttons is going to be when you're using the hydro broom or the turbo nozzle. I do 95% of my work with a single dot. It gives you the most energy, the molecules are going crazy. Anytime I'm overhead, I use the 2 dots, which is the medium. And on the base unit, you will see the lights correspond to the different settings. As I described earlier, this is a pressure gauge, so when you're first starting the MondoVap, which takes about 7 minutes to get ready, once you see the green light, you're ready to go. Being a continuous fill machine, even though it's on, you can use it all day long. Just add water. Chemical-free cleaning. As I mentioned before, this is our nook and cranny tool that I call it. It's our turbo nozzle. I'm going to install it now onto the handle. And we can go right down to the surface. As you can see, we had a lot of hidden bacteria. You can have a perfectly clean bathroom, but still have odors. This is where it hides. I'll do that again on this side. This does not have to be done every day. This is maintenance probably on a monthly basis. Next, we're going to do some grab. I used the black nozzle with a stainless steel brush. Now I'm going to do the floor first, so let's install a couple extensions. I don't want to have to stand on my head to do this. By the way, the O-rings are there to make a 100% connection. So the way we're going to do this is to preheat the line. And when I'm on the floor, I use 2 dots. It's medium. Next, I'm going to angle the tool about 45 degrees. And next, I'm going to scrub. The last thing you want to do is to blow all that out of there. Take another towel and wipe up what you have. In men's bathrooms, we have an incrustation of urine underneath most urinals, just like this one. And this is the only tool in my 42.5 years of being in the cleaning industry that I have found to take this out. To reinforce disinfection in the restroom, one of the things we have to look at is the people touching the door. will be spreading germs. So I'm going to reinstall this with a single dot for disinfection. So you can see this is extremely easy to do and not very time consuming. To discuss disinfection properly, let me bring that up at this time. Disinfection is cleaning the surface first, letting the disinfectant dwell from 3 to 20 minutes, and then rinsing behind it with clear water. We're doing the whole function in 3 seconds or less with this machine. So you're cutting your disinfection time way, way, way down. All bathrooms have mirrors, and don't forget, we can use our squeegee tool to do the mirror. Clean and disinfect it, again, no fingerprints. Other places bacteria hide in the restroom are under sink fixtures such as these. Also in here. Continuing to address things people touch, of course they're going to touch the soap dispenser. And while I'm here, I'm going to disinfect part of the sink. See a little bit of soil. We're going to clean a Commode chemical-free. The mistakes most custodians make is pouring some cleaner into the Commode's water and diluting it into 2.5 gallons of water, making it totally ineffective. Using the chemical-free system, we're going to install the ray above the floor, spray nozzle, and a plastic brush. First thing we're going to do, most people ignore, is up under the lip. Now we're going to work our way down to the water line. Now we're going to go under the water. Into the trap. So we have successfully disinfected the inside of the bowl. Now we're going to install once again the triangle brush and do the exterior as well as the seat. We'll begin here. Disinfect the seat. Top and bottom. Oddly enough, it's been proven that some of the cleanest places in a bathroom are this seat right here. So now we can do this rim. Want to make sure you take your time. Too many people think they need to go quickly. Inside, right here. I'm going to turn this off for 1 second. Make it so I can twist this. Now we're going to do the exterior. Take your time. The building service contractors allow for 5 minutes per fixture. Most people take less than a minute. For this type of toilet, you also want to make sure that you do the flush valve. Most people don't touch this part. I just do it anyway. Let the heat do its work and let the tanks do its disinfection, utilizing the proprietary system. While I'm here, all handicapped bathrooms have these. In nursing homes and hospitals, you'll have grab rails up and down the hallways as well. It's important that you disinfect those as well. And now, once you shut this off, and put on a couple of extensions. With a fresh towel installed on the 11-inch tool, we now have our mop. You can see how I'm twisting the head. If I was to properly disinfect this bathroom with a commercial disinfectant cleaner, you would have to leave this totally wet for a period of about 3 to 20 minutes depending on the cleaner. That is almost impossible to do. We've just cleaned and disinfected and rinsed in one step, and the floor is already dry. My classroom, just like anybody else's classroom, whether it be a laboratory as a laboratory, or a young child's table, or some other solid surface like this, is a treasure trove for bacteria buildup. So again, if we were going to do this properly with disinfectants, we'd be cleaning first, letting the disinfectant dwell, and I can tell you from my experience, if I was to do disinfectant on here, it's impossible to keep this wet for the entire amount of time you're supposed to. You'll have dry spots all over the place. So using my chemical-free system, I'm going to install the towel. And again, using our single dot, which is our lowest pressure. This is what we do in between classes where I teach. If you were using a commercial cleaner, this process could take up to 20 minutes or more. For little kids, obviously, they have all kinds of things they deal with as far as germs. So they might have a small table. In a laboratory, you have all kinds of things involved in science class. So we have just totally disinfected this part of the table. And we also got some soil. So we cleaned, disinfected, and rinsed in one step. We have carpet tiles on the floor, and I'm going to show you the proper procedure for cleaning a spot. Now, just know that spots become stains, and eventually stains may need a little more work, so you can't expect them to come up in one fell swoop. I'm going to install 2 extensions. Use my triangle tool. I'm going to put this directly onto the carpet to warm it up. Back and forth. The combination of the heat and the agitation is loosening the material, and if you have a spot, it will loosen up the material. It could be a Coke stain, a tea stain, coffee stain. So you want to go in 2 directions. I'm going to now take this off and install the towel. And the loosened material will come up into the towel. Once again, you have a nice flat spot to work with. Turn it back on and wipe. And once again, I don't bring any soil with me. We have some light soil, as you can see. If that was a spot of red juice, wine, coffee, tea, it would all be contained in the towel. And that's how you pick up a spot. Glass is everywhere. In restaurants, in commercial buildings, mirrors. All these surfaces are using glass cleaner, which builds up. Over a period of time, you have a residue on here enough to trap bacteria and microbes. So what we can do, chemical-free, with our window tool, is to very easily make a swipe. And the beauty of this tool is you've got a squeegee. And a perfectly clean and disinfected piece of glass. When you have perfectly clean glass, you cannot leave fingerprints. If you were to walk over here right now, you'd feel the slime on this side and nothing on this side. Let's not forget to disinfect as many surfaces as you can. So while I'm here, I will disinfect another place people touch on a regular basis, because people come in and out of this door all through the dining hours with the outdoor service. Clean and disinfected. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to properly clean, chemical-free, a drinking fountain. Again, we're above the floor, so we're going to use the gray nozzle. Now we're going to use our little squishy pad on the 2-inch. In many cases, when I'm installing one of these units, I'm actually removing stainless steel cleaner in this step right here. Because most people will leave the stainless steel cleaner here, and guess what happens then? You have a germ factory building up. So we do the inside, just like you see here. Sometimes they have a sideways trigger for the water. This one happens to be here. So now that I've finished with that, I'm going to install the stainless steel brush that I told you about earlier that you want to segregate just for removing buildup. And we have some buildup right here. Gone. Wipe it down. One last thing for a drinking fountain. We'll take our nook and cranny tool, put this directly with both buttons right down the hole. A totally clean and disinfected, chemically free drinking fountain. Another place that bacteria like to hang out is the air returns in the ceilings. So for this, I'm going to put on 2 extensions, as well as my triangle tool with a towel. And for the overhead, I'm going to use the medium setting, which is 2 buttons. While you're doing this, you're heating up both sides of the metal, and anything that you capture will be in the towel itself. And you are disinfecting, chemical-free, one of the hardest things to clean. This is usually left up to the maintenance department. Now, I don't bring dirt with me, but I will let you see what we've got. And that's how you disinfect and clean the overhead air return. Every commercial building in the United States has elevators. Elevator tracks are always on their hit list for housekeeping. I'm going to show you a quick, easy way to do the elevator tracks. You take the black brush, with the black nozzle without a brush, and run it right down that little groove there. If you have soil, if you have soil built up right there, you can use the brass brush because this is aluminum. And if you should have any filled up in the corners, another use for your turbo nozzle. Quick, easy, you're done. We're now at Skyline's Cafe in Clayton, North Carolina, in a commercial kitchen setting. I'm using the above-the-ground grate tool, the nozzle here, to hold the 2-inch pad holder with the pad on here to do some detail work with some buildup of grease. You want to make sure that you dwell a little bit to get the heat going so that the product can come off the surface easily, just like that. We have some more here. And it's important to take short strokes. It doesn't do any good to do this, because again, you're heating the surface to let the pad do its work to remove the soil buildup. Here, we're simply going to disinfect the surface, do a little more cleaning. As you can see, it comes off easily with no chemicals and letting the heat do the work. And we have now disinfected the surfaces. In most commercial kitchens with the refrigerator gaskets, sometimes they need to be cleaned. So for this, we will use a plastic brush, a small plastic brush, install a towel, secure it with a rubber band, and again using the single dot setting. You can see the steam coming. We slowly go back and forth to disinfect the gasket. Commercial kitchens have problems with fruit flies all around the United States. So to accomplish killing the fruit flies, we install 2 extensions and the hydro broom that I told you about earlier, and then turning the steam on. And once we hit the water line, you work your way back up all the way, killing the larvae, and that can be done on a regular basis. When you're addressing workout equipment, this is the way most people are disinfecting. Cost of chemicals, wearing gloves, working with surfaces where people touch. With the MondoVap, we do it chemical-free. Because ideally that spray that I just put on there was sanitizing but not disinfecting, because you would have a dwell time of 3 to 20 minutes to keep that wet. By the way, how would you keep a vertical surface wet for 3 to 20 minutes? It's impossible. But I'm doing this vertical surface right now, chemical-free, cleaning, disinfecting, and rinsing all in one step. To wrap it up, folks, today I've shown you all the functions from floors to ceilings and everything in between that the MondoVap steam vapor disinfection system can perform for you. Again, it's the only EPA registered disinfecting device with an EPA registration number, eliminating the need for cleaning chemicals. I'm Kerry Rigg. Thanks for watching.